This is going to be the complete and ultimate tutorial for growing grain in Farming Simulator 25. What you see behind me is a beautiful field of ready to harvest grain. We're going to be going from start to finish. So let's start with the basics. And that is going to be the crop harvesting season. If we go to the calendar here, you can see that for all my crops, I can plant and harvest them whenever I like. If we go into options and game settings, we can turn this off with seasonal growth, yes. And now you can see when you can plant and harvest. What are grains then? Well, that is wheat, barley, canola, oats, soybeans, and sorghum, whatever the hell sorghum is. These are all of your grains, basically. So all of these different crops are going to have the same process. As an example today, I think we're going to be doing canola, but like I said, this is the same for all of them. I'm just going to turn this back off just for, I will have seasons on, but just for the tutorial, it's easier. What we can also look at on the map is the growing periods. So if we go onto our map and then go to growth, what I like to do is turn everything off to give myself a clear canvas. And then I'm going to go, right, what is, cultivated or stubble tillage basically ready to go? What is growing? And with growing, you can see the lightest green on the left is going to be just started to grow. Dark green is nearly ready to harvest. So this one here is nearly ready to harvest. Ready to harvest is the field I've got behind me here, for example. Harvested, you can see what has already been harvested, but not yet prepared for the next crop. And that is where we're now going to start, preparing for the next crop. We're going to need a few things. Namely, we're going to be using this tractor here, this John Deere, and this Great Plains solid stand. So you may or may not have all the equipment you need yet. What I want you to do is go to your map, go over to wherever your town is, the little yellow basket, and place visit. And that will take you to the shop. We can then click on here, and then what we can see is the things we need to buy. You may or may not want to buy a few different tractors, a few different machines. I like to have a few tractors around so I can hook up different machines, but you can always offload and then attach everything to one tractor. It just may take you a bit longer. A small tractor will be fine for everything we're doing today. Now, you may or may not want to add or disable certain things. One of them is going to be liming your soil. Liming the soil basically prepares the soil with lime, and that increases the yield you'll get from your harvest. To do that, we're going to go down to yield improvements. We're on the second tab here, the little tractor icon in the shop. Fertilizer spreaders, and you're going to want to buy the Bredel here. Why? Because that one has the little white icon here, which is lime. Then go to this one again and go to consumables, where you can then buy the lime. So you can buy the bags of lime, and let's do it here. Let's buy 5 bags of lime. Purchase, yes, and I'll show you where that'll appear in a minute. Another option is you just drive here yourself with your tractor and some sort of fertilizing machine. If you go back up the top here, where are we going? Yield improvements. You also want to go to fertilizer spreaders, like we said, and buy the Bredel. You can actually press enter on this and lease it instead, which will cost you 2,000. Or you could buy it outright for 45,000. So you could just lease it temporarily, which is a cheaper option. We're going to buy it here, though. We'll buy that. And then I'm going to scroll up and buy a tractor to go with it. Small tractor, maybe. Let's buy, I don't know, this tractor here. Again, you can lease it. We could change the ribbon colours on this one. How nice. Black Beauty. Oh, that is a nice tractor. And I can buy this tractor too. Now, you don't have to lime your fields, like I said. However, watching this part of the tutorial, even if you don't want to lime your fields, it's going to be really useful because we'll be looking at a lot of things that you'll be doing many times in the tutorial at this part. What I'll show you now, and what I mean by that is like attaching tractors to machines and things like that. So we can get in our tractor. I can zoom out my mouse wheel And I'm now going to drive in front of this big trailer thing here, which is our breadle. Line it up. And you know you've lined it up correctly because it has, you see at the bottom of the screen, it says attach tool. So I'll press Q and it's going to attach it. Nice. Now that is attached. Now we have the options on the top left to actually use our breadle. What we need to do is we can press R for refill fertilizer spreader. Now, if we drive off, you will actually see that the refill button disappears. If we reverse, so we're near the lime, we suddenly get that option again. So basically, like I said, you can drive your own stuff here, and pick up the lime. But I'm just buying it all here to show you as an example. And I could just press R, and it's going to start filling up the lime into our breadle here, into our lime sprayer. And it's going to go and go and go until it stops, and then you can press it again, and it's going to fill it up even more. Now what we're going to do is drive it home and start filling it up. Well, I'm back home, and I've actually got one that I prepared earlier. I'm going to attach this tractor to my lime. This is a breadle that's just got a roof on top, basically. Connect that up. I'm just going to turn this around, and we're going to then lime our fields. I'm not going to go into such detail with the rest of the stuff because it's going to be, attaching machines and operating them in the same way that we are now. So this is just kind of to get you into it. That makes sense. And then see this white bit, this has already been limed. So we're going to come over to our bit here, and then we can press B for Bravo to turn on our lime sprayer, and we can start spraying the field with lime. And it's very obvious when it's been limed. If you ask me, very, very obvious indeed. Now, can you see that there's like an old crop kind of on the soil here? So we need to prepare the ground for the new crop as well. You could plow it and things like that. I'm going to park this over here. And now I'm going to attach my cultivator. And again, you can buy cultivators in the cultivator section of the shop, just like we did with our previous machines. And I'm going to attach it just like before. And then what we're going to do is drive it up. And again, we're going to actually lower it with V, so you can see it lowers close to the ground. And you don't need to turn it on, and it's just going to plough the fields, basically, ready for seeding. Just like that. And then lift it up again once you're done. Now, I wouldn't recommend just doing a tiny bit like I've done. I would recommend doing an entire field full. But for this tutorial, of course, I'm just going to do this. The next part we need to do is seed the actual soil. So you can also tab, by the way, just to go into your different vehicles, as you can see here. And I'm going to tab into this one, which is my seeder. The same way that we filled up the lime breadle with lime, you can also go to the shop and buy seeds. So I'm going to line it up to where I've prepared the soil and limed it with this attachment. And again, it's a seeder you can buy in the store. Now, the interesting thing with seeds is, can you see near the speedometer, etc., just above it, it says canola on the right-hand side? If I press Y for Yankee on my keyboard, can you see I can actually cycle through the different seeds? Now, obviously here we're talking about grains, and this can use all grains. So again, you use it the same way as you put in your lime into your machine. You may need to open the lids here. I can do that with N for November. Again, keybinds on top left if you're on console, etc. And I can cycle through to barley, oats, canola, etc. For this example, we are going to do canola. There we go. Shut the lid. And then we can press B again to turn on the seeder. Oh, I need to lower it as well. There we go. Lower it. Turn it on. And now we are seeding the soil to actually, plant our seeds. And you can see there the seeds are coming out. And again, you don't have to lime your fields, etc. Depending on your settings, you can turn weeding and fertilizers and things like that off. And that's going to basically seed the soil. Once you've done that, you basically just need to wait for it to grow. Now, I'm just going to go to the shop again, because I want to show you about fertilizing and weeding. So if you go to the shop, you can also A lot of people turn off weeds unless you're kind of like a hardcore player. I find weeding can ruin your crops, etc., and you have to spray them and all of this. And they are in sprayers and weeders here, and again consumables. You can buy your, is it in here, herbicides in here. It's the same thing with fertilizers. You can buy fertilizer. The only difference is in fertilizer spreaders is you don't want to use your Bredel, or you can use a Bredel because that can do fertilizer and lime. But these other ones just do fertilizers. You may want to buy one of each, maybe. I don't know. Up to you. To get the biggest yield, you would actually ideally go over your crops with a fertilizer twice. And it's just the same. Attach up these to your crop, and then, you know, add in the fertilizer like we did with the lime, and then go over it. Now on the map here, we can see the growth again. So if we look at growing, for example here, you can see this one is nearly grown. This bit is growing. You can see there, and you can see basically the growth stage of the seed. Darker is better. Ready to harvest, where it's orange, now means we are, well, ready to harvest. So I'm just going to get into my vehicle here and tab over so I can get back here. Now to harvest it, we're going to need a harvester like this. I'm using the Massey Ferguson. We do need to use this big combine on the front, which we can attach, just like we attached the the tractors to the other machines. So let's go harvest our canola. Now it's ready. And this is the really fun part. Now to actually do this, we need to do a few things on our harvester. We need to lower the harvester at the front here. We need to open up the top by unfolding it. There we go. We can press B to turn it on. And now I can just start harvesting the crop that is ready to harvest. There we go. We are now harvesting our canola. And you can see on the right-hand side, there's a small green bar filling up with canola. And you can see it's 1%, 2%, and it's slowly filling up the harvester with how much canola we have in it. And again, you can buy this machine and the header being the part on the front, in the store, and connect it just like we showed before. Now, I'm not going to do this whole thing. I'm just going to turn it off here, again, because it's just a guide. And now what we need to do is either sell it or store it. And again, this is going to be the same for any grain you do. That leftover harvest there, again, you're just going to want to plough that. You shouldn't need to lime it again. I believe it's every 3 harvests you need to re-lime it. And if you're not sure, go onto the map, soil composition, and you can see where it says needs lime. And the bit that doesn't need lime is where I've limed it for the tutorial. So you can always just check, does it need liming or not? And you can see by going to the soil composition there. Is it fertilized or not? Is it mulched or not? You know, things like that. Does it need rolling? Rolling, you know, is where we're redoing the soil for the next batch. I'm actually going to go into this truck here. And again, you can buy a tractor and a trailer at the back. What I want to do is go into my trailer and line it up with my harvester here. Like that. And we're going to press O to output the pipe. And it's going to automatically output the grain into the trailer. It won't automatically put it onto the floor. It will only do it if you have actually got something to put it into there. Fold away the pipe, go into our trailer, and now we can go and sell our grain. So you can sell it in different places or store it. The reason that you might want to store it is because, as you can see here, in April, it's not a great price. In July, it'd be the worst price. But in December, it's a really high price. So you may want to store it into a different month to get the best price. And you can store it in something like this over here, a silo. And we're just going to line it up. Oh my goodness gracious. I don't know what I've got in here. Is it canola? I don't know what I've got in that silo. I'm going to show you how to sell it, okay? I'm going to drive to town. And you can press C, by the way, and actually go first person, which is even better. It's actually really nice if you go first person, I find. It's quite relaxing. If you do ever need to refuel your vehicles, by the way, you can actually just do it at the petrol station here. I know that's sort of obvious, but you might not realise. Obvious when you know how, I'd say. And you just get an icon saying refuel when you go there. We are going to go over here. Oh my goodness. I'm a terrible driver. And can you see that there's this like grate on the floor? So just drive over this so that your trailer is over it, and you'll see a pop-up at the bottom of the screen. There we go. It says dump canola. So what I can now do is just press that keybind, and it will dump the canola into there. And there you go. That is how you sell it. If you're not sure where to go on the map, you may be on a different map, etc. You can see here there's these tip points. And that's basically where you can sell your stuff. There is actually one near the farm. There's a small farmer's kiosk here as well, by the way. And the silo here, for example, where you can store it, is a tip point. And that, guys, is how you prepare the soil, grow, harvest, fertilize, etc. any type of grain in Farming Simulator 25. I really hope this was a helpful video to you. If it was, please subscribe, leave a thumbs up and let me know your comments down below. And if you're looking for other Farming Simulator 25 guides, check out the playlist you now see on screen.